Okay, here's the final segment of Vanog. Here we go. I'm glad you made it back, Toa. When we saw Rydok take you to the Chamber of Truth, we feared we would never see you again. Something strange is going on near the Valmai volcano and the Lake of Lava. The Paraka have been very busy there recently. They must be closing in on the Mask of Life. We cannot let them find it. Travel there and investigate the lake and lava reservoirs. Spy on them from a high place and make sure you aren't seen. We need to know what the Paraka are planning. We'll show you 2 good spots on your map where you should be able to spy unattended. When you have a good idea what's going on, come back and talk to me. Okay. You know, my understanding of a high place is it's somewhere where you, I guess, try to worship the Hebrew god, but it's not the temple. Anyway, so now that I'm at the final segment, I guess it's my opportunity to say something about this game. Sometimes it's not necessarily good character to excessively review all the media that you consume. Just, you know, have fun with it. But I need to have something to fill up the time that I'm spending running around. So, very obvious feature that I talked about at the very beginning of this Let's Play is, this game can't really be Let's Played. Like 90% of the time spent playing this game is time spent with your character walking across the screens, walking from one tan 2x2 to the next. So there is not very much compelling gameplay. There isn't very many mysteries for your audience to wonder about. And there isn't very many ways you can interact with the game with yourself and with your audience. And so it's just footage of you walking across the screen, and that's about it. So again, why I Let's Play it is I have this irrational completist attitude towards this. If I'm going to make a Let's Play of every Bionicle game, then I should make a Let's Play of this one also. And so that's why I make a Let's Play of this one. But I acknowledge that what I'm making is very unwatchable footage. Because there isn't very much in it. So, what makes video games good? Well, the characteristic I'm most familiar with is escapism. And that's somewhat difficult to define. I would go more broadly with it and say that does not apply specifically to video games. That applies to all story media, such as movies, TV shows, and novels. You consume the story media, and then you have the story in the media stuck in your head. And you start imagining what you would do if you were in the same situations the characters were in, or if you were a third party within the story, and how you would handle those situations, and how would you interact with the characters therein. I better stop and read this. So the Paraka were using the Matoran to drain the Lake of Lava. But why would they need to do that? You should talk to Dalu at the fortress. He might know more. Because I told Vizok that is where the mask was. I already knew that. And this characteristic of stories, which usually we would call good, where you start imagining yourself interacting with the characters, deciding whether or not you would like each character as a person if you would meet them in real life, how you specifically would handle the situations, how you imagine yourself being a hero in those situations, can hurt your productivity in your day-to-day, whatever you're doing, your day job or whatever, because you, instead of thinking about what you're trying to do, you're thinking about the story that you're in the process of consuming. You also it might be a mystery, and you might be trying to solve the mystery before the author reveals it to you. And so you're constantly thinking about that problem you're trying to solve, and not whatever other problems you have to solve where you'd actually get paid if you solve them. Also, it can put some strain on your relationships that you're in, and make you somewhat absent or aloof. So, we like it, but it has consequences. Bionicle is not a very escapist thing, at least in my experience. It's very difficult to try to imagine yourself in the world of Bionicles. And it helps that the characters in Bionicle are so far removed from people. I know people don't like that. They'll say, I want to be able to relate to the characters. Well, but then you end up in the escapism trap, and you start escaping. As a great Japanese mystery game writer hath said once, we all have this intrinsic desire to escape, starting at birth. Anyway. So the whole world of Bionicle isn't very escapist. And, well, I'll read this now. So Garen sent you to a cold weather Matoran to ask about a blazing hot volcano? I think they got the element switched up with these guys. This is a water, but this is a Gamatoran. Anyway. Well, good thing for you, I know a thing or two about lava. If nothing else, I know to stay away from it. Man, I can't read. But I guess that isn't an option for you, right? If the Mask of Life really is under there, you're going to want to talk to one of the Matoran slaves they got working on the lake draining. And as it happens, one of the ones you freed is still hiding out in the village. If I were you, I'd go talk to him and come back when you're done. Of course, if I were you, I'd also be a lot taller. I'd also be a canister set. Where is he? Oh, the village, not the fortress. Okay. So because the characters in Bionicle are so different from people, you don't really have to worry about being an escapist with Bionicle. They don't have not until 2009. You wouldn't really have like, I'll call it romantic escapism, because they're just plain flat is no romance. And the characters are very stale. And the situations the characters are in are not very mysterious and very puzzle-solvy. And they're not situations that you would really be curious about what you would do if you found yourself in them. It's the Toa. Thank you again. Well, I was one of the Matoran they had working on the Lake of Lava. They were making us empty it all by opening up the dam. The Paraka think the chamber of the Mask of Life is under the lava. If they empty the lake, they'll be able to get inside. Okay, talk to Dalu. And then, how is this related to this game? Well, this game, if I were to rate its escapism from 1 to 10, I would give it a 1. It just doesn't have any of that. And some of the games I plan to play later on will be way the opposite of that. So, that's why I'm mentioning it now. But man, this is like a 1 out of 10. So that's what their plan is. Well, Toa, we'll have to act quickly now. But you're going to need some special equipment if you're going to run around near the Lake of Lava. Bring us back some metal from Fire Gothna in the Black Rocks region. 10 of them should be enough. So what else? Well, something called positive difficulty. So positive difficulty is difficulty in the game where once you accomplish what you're trying to accomplish, you felt like you've accomplished something. So it's a struggle, but when you're done with the struggle, you feel like you've accomplished something. Usually skill-based struggles or puzzle solving. So this game, you could say, might have some positive difficulty, and then if you're not way more powerful than the enemies you're fighting, you actually have to choose which weapons you equip yourself with, choose which ones you use on which turn, and choose where you need to go in order to most effectively defeat your enemy. However, you can also do this game grinder style, where you just defeat a lot of enemies in order to build experience points, just get way more powerful than your enemies, and then just brute force it, like I'm doing now, basically. So you could say this thing has some positive difficulty. However, the positive difficulty that you would think would exist really just, in my opinion, doesn't make the game fun. So as far as positive difficulty, this game is about a 2 out of 10. Negative difficulty. So negative difficulty is what I call things like, yeah, there's a cutscene that plays every time you respawn. No, that's just bad pacing. We'll get to that later. It's ways the game is frustrating that make the game less fun. I'm not really familiar with the concept because it's not something that really happens to me. What am I supposed to do? Oh, I'm supposed to go to the Black Rocks. I got distracted. So I'm not really familiar with that concept. Does this game have negative difficulty? No, not really. Okay, pacing. This game gets a 1 out of 10. Why is it so bad in pacing? Because there is literally quests where you go talk to Garrett. You talk to Balta about fixing something, like the teleportation gate. You then, go through the gate, need a key, then go talk to Garen, and he tells you to go talk to Balta. So you end up, like, running across, like, this really inefficient runarounds. That are completely unnecessary. And, yeah, a lot of the quests don't seem to progress the story. They're just things like this, where it's just like, defeat 10 of something. Or go to this location and just look at it. Actually, those usually do progress the story. But just like, go to this location and defeat all the enemies in it, and the enemies are just a bunch of random Rahi mooks. Or just go talk to this Matoran and run an errand for them. And then to accomplish these menial tasks, or these tasks that are like, just defeat all these Rahi, or just go talk to this Matoran, then go back to the next Matoran, and they run you around and go from Matoran to Matoran. You just have to walk across the screen a whole bunch of times. So if you try to make a Let's Play of this, of course, you're just walking across the screen and across the screen. And like 90% of your time is spent up just traversing from one location to the next. And the developers made content by means of doing so. They seem to like purposely be forcing you to traverse long distances to make the game seem bigger or grander. But it's not really the case. It's not really bigger or grander. You're just traversing long distances and just keep walking. So the pacing in this game is absolutely horrible. And I would give it a 1 out of 10. The worst score I could give pacing. So, well, I'm already up to 4. How many do I need? 10. If I go back to, so characters, well, there are characters and they do have dialogue, but most of the dialogue is very tutorial-esque in nature. It doesn't really contribute very much to the experience of playing the game. But yeah, you could say that each of the Matoran and the Matoran Resistance is characterized a certain way. They do sort of crack jokes, even if they're not very good. Like, if I were you, I'd be a lot taller, and so on. So the characters in this game get something more than a 1 out of 10 because of that, so I guess I have to give them a 2 out of 10. Suspense in this game. There actually is a little bit because you don't really know what the next quest is going to be, because the quests kind of come out of nowhere and are somewhat random. So it can't really be a 1 out of 10. I guess you could say it's a 2 out of 10. What's the atmosphere? Well, there isn't really any. There is some atmosphere that's generated from the art assets, the terrain. And there's some generated from the background music, which, if I believe I've heard somewhere is written from Bionicle the game. Do you feel like you're in a situation that's really dangerous? No. Do you feel that you're in a situation that's very comfortable or very fun? No. You don't really feel like you're in any situation at all. You're just clicking and... yeah, just more clicking. Click on my weapon. Click on this Gofna. So yes, there isn't zero atmosphere. Because there is some sort of... I don't know. There's Paraka in it, and Paraka automatically create atmosphere by their nature. And there's Matoran with some sort of story of peril. And there's that Bionicle the game background music. And there's different environments by the art assets. But is there really that much atmosphere? No. I would give it a... not 1 out of 10, because there's something. But 2 out of 10. The mechanics. There's some creativity in it's turn-based combat, which I'm not a fan of. I'm not a very big turn-based combat guy. There is some variety of weapons with varieties of functionality. There's progressiveness to it, so you level up and you end up much more powerful at the end than you were at the beginning. And so you are somewhat constantly looking forward to being more powerful than you already are, and are doing things striving to be more powerful. So there is some cookie clickering. So the mechanics can't really be a 1 out of 10. I'd give them a 3 out of 10. The plot, well, there is a plot. It's a very non-canon plot, and involves a lot of menial tasks. It's much more boring than the real 2006 plot, but there isn't no plot whatsoever. So I guess the plot gets a 2 out of 10. I don't know why I'm saying people like to do out of 10 ratings. Let's see, what else do I care about? Trying to think of good games and what I can compare them to. I mean, most of it just comes from, like, the mood that the game puts you in. And this game doesn't really put you in a mood at all. It's just like, I just gotta get the work done. So, if I were to give this an overall score out of 10, because, you know, why 10? Why? I guess it's just the amount of fingers that humans have on both hands. That's why 10's so special. So I would count in base 10. The fingers dictate it. It would get a 1 out of 10. This is not a good game. It just is not. I do not recommend you play it yourself. But I don't know why you would play it yourself if you watched this far into my Chapter 8 playthrough. If you are very into Bionicle, you would probably play it yourself no matter what anybody would say, because anybody who is into Bionicle wants to consume all of the Bionicle media, regardless of its quality. However, if you were not into Bionicle and for some reason have watched this far into this particular video, I don't know what's wrong with you, but do not play this game. So that was worthless. That was just me practicing doing something like that, essentially. Dalu again.
I guess that'll do. Here you go, Toa. This should protect you from fire damage, and it'll do extra fire damage to your enemies as well. Perfect thing for the volcano, right? The first thing that you should do is free one of the Matoran who are working near there. Take him to Sanctuary in the jungle. It's a sure place. That sentence is all wrong. That'll keep the Paraka occupied while we figure out what to do next. We've got a spy working northeast of the dam station. If you take him with you, that should make good bait for the Paraka. You'll probably have to battle some guardians at Necton, but that should be pretty easy for you by now. You're a big, strong Toa after all. Go talk to Garen when you're done. You don't actually have to battle any guardians at Necton. That's not a thing. I just learned today that back in March, somebody found an extended version of the Paraka rap. I don't know why the Paraka rap gets so much hate. It just is what it is. You just, have fun with whatever life gives you. It's just a Paraka rap. I mean, gee whiz. I'm not going to sing a cover of that yet because the Paraka rap is surprisingly technical. But the Paraka rap, what stands out to me the most about the Paraka rap is that how the writers had some sort of envisioning of how the fan base played with the sets. It has lyrics in it like "Time to Tick-Tocka." Oh my goodness, I don't even remember the lyrics of the Paraka rap. Something 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 found in your school locker. In your home and in your friend's room. Best, it's like, okay, I very rarely have actually seen somebody take a Bionicle set to school. However, I have seen it once. It wasn't me. And it was a Maxilos. So I guess it is possible that some person has once had a Paraka in their locker. And is now living their life constantly embarrassed by their past. I just wasted a whole bunch of time because, I was supposed to go to the Black Rocks and get the Matoran slave, and I went straight to the Cape of No Hope instead. Really not doing too well. Men can't multitask. They only switch very rapidly between tasks. I can't talk and do this game at the same time, apparently. Despite it being just a point-click walk across the screen thing. So, I've been trying to decide what game to play next, and that doesn't really matter, I'll just play it. However, I need to have something to say to fill this time, so there's just not footage of me walking across the screen as the final episode of this Let's Play, because final episodes of Let's Plays deserve better. Monog 2, I mean, is another game that's very not conducive to Let's Playing. However, it's not nearly as bad as this game, and it's way more fun, and I really enjoy it. So although it doesn't make very good footage, it's a very good game. The reason why it doesn't make very good footage is that some of the things you do when you traditionally play it, oh goodness. Doing things like make a well, that's a very boring episode. Fortunately, it's only like one separate episode. You obviously don't have to do it to get enough widgets. You can just flip light stones and collie balls instead. You want me to serve as bait? I see. Well, they must search the island for me. They will have to divide their forces. Alright, then let's go. It's just kind of a traditional thing. It's like, when you play Monog, you always explore Takoro first because of the order in which Templar released the programs. And then you have to train Coley, which, of course, you can isolate those into individual episodes. And I can do some goofy stuff with that, like read the Constitution while training strength. The Constitution of the United States, that is. And generally have fun with that. But there will be these episodes of me just like training Coley for a couple hours. Or training Coley skills for a couple hours, and that's all that is. Because how you win at Monog 2 is very similar to how you win at this game. You just train Coley just very, I don't know how to describe this, strong work ethically. You just commit to it. You just set out a block of time and then just play the minigame over and over and over again over that block of time. Now, many people like to edit the save file because it's really easy to do so in Monog 2. And I have a tendency to think I would have a very negative opinion of your ethics in other areas of your life if you do that. Not because it's necessarily wrong to cheat in Monog 2 because it's just Monog 2, but the type of character traits you would have that would lead to you doing so might be indicative of some other negative character traits you might have. So I just play the minigames to the extent I need to win at Coley. Some of them are horrible, like the strength one. Some of them, like the stamina one. Some of them are very good, like the strength one. Bionicle the Game GBA is another candidate because that might actually get a lot of clicks because it's so horrible. It's kind of funny. And I actually haven't played Bionicle the Game GBA. However, I have seen footage of like snippets of footage from it. So that will be a kind of blind, which would be add some variety. And speaking of kind of blind, Quest for the Toa, or it might be called something different in the United States, would be something where I've seen very little gameplay footage of. And so I could do something kind of blind. Because what I've been doing so far, which is this game and Legend of Matanui, I've done the opposite of blind. This is a game I've played through many, many times before in the past. And I'm very familiar with it, as you can see. And then once I'm done with Bionicle games, I've got some other things on the list. But I want to get the Bionicle things over with. Because the stuff that's not Bionicle, I want to do an extremely good job with. And I want to make sure I am well practiced. There's redundant... I didn't notice that there's redundant tan Lego bricks there. So this is my practice run for Goofy Voices and speaking well into the microphone. Speaking well into a microphone is actually rather difficult because it's seeing the facial expressions of the people that you're talking to helps a lot. Many thanks, Toa. The Proco will look for me, but they will never find me here. I hope this gives you enough time to infiltrate the dam station. Good luck. You're just talking into your computer screen. You don't have that feedback from the expressions of your audience. And that can make it somewhat difficult to speak to speak. Also, you have a tendency to not linearly organize your thoughts because you don't understand how well or how poorly your audience can understand you. So you tend to have all these thoughts in your head and try to spit them all out at once, and they come out in a disorganized mess. Now that happens to me usually, but for some reason it seems to be worse when there's no audience. You almost need a script to read to rein it in. I obviously haven't tried to speedrun this game, but you can see that the time would be limited by the travel time, right? Like, I want to get this recording. I've been recording for half an hour so far, and I want to be able to finish the game within a half hour from now. But no matter how fast I click, I'm limited in how fast I can complete the game by how fast my character can travel across the screen. So I might not have any hope of doing so. Obviously, the total gameplay hours I'm going to put into the Let's Play is much longer than those required for minimum completion of the game, because I've done a lot of battles that were unnecessary. In order to, when I do the battles that are necessary, them to be curve stomps. I don't know if that sentence made sense, but yep. Example, curb stomp.
Dolu tells me you did well near the lake of lava. I think your quest is nearing an end, Toa. Let us hope it is an end that will save Matanui. While the Paraka are occupied looking for their missing slaves in the jungle, we're going to finish their work and beat them to the prize. You'll have to drain the lake of lava and get into the chamber of the Mask of Life. If it really is down there, that is. The controls for the dam are in the building by the lava reservoirs. If you can find a way inside, you should open the dam to empty the lake. If you have any problems, talk to Perk. He knows the area pretty well after all his scouting. Which means that you will have to talk to Perk, because otherwise he would not tell you that. So you know that you will run into problems. This is another big instance of being run around. Because you go to the lava dam station, and the lift doesn't work. So you go to Perk, and then to fix the lift, and I think he refers you to Balta or something. And then you go back down, and the Tane Burnock gets injured. And so they have to go to Perk again, and then he makes you run an errand. And then you finally go back down the third time, and then you finally get to do the Hakon fight. A lot of running around. I just realized that I said that Vizok was the bully in my Chapter 7 quest video. Vizok is the beast. No, it's not Eddie, it's Vizok. And 2006 predates Eddie taking on the name the Beast. It is Rydak who's the bully. So that's going to be embarrassing, but no one's going to watch that far into that anyway. Hello again. What can I do for you, Toa? I can't get into the dam station! Well, that's very to the point. You haven't found an entrance into the dam station? Did you try the lift on the roof? Ah, no power for the lift, huh? Well, I'm no mechanic like Balta, but I'd say you probably need a new energy stone. I could refer you to Balta, who's right next door, but, you know, I'm not. I'm gonna give you this quest. The best way to get one of those around here is off a Nectin, and as luck would have it, there are some nearby. Once you've got the energy stone, you should be able to get the lift working. Okay. Find and beat repair Nectin. Whoever thought of this nonsense?
This is why this game is a 1 out of 10. And now I have to walk all the way back to the lava dam station. Just keep walking. Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming. In fact, the animation's not walking, it's running. It's like, imagine how tiring this would be. What's a Dolfaru? They just made up random terminology just for that one line in the game. Is Dolfaru Matoran for legs? Is it an adjective that describes its legs? Do they couldn't decide that what to call those kind of rocky? Is Burnock, is Golfaru like a prototype name for a Burnak? Anyway. More errands to run. What? What happened to my Burnak? Is it hurt? You need to find a lifestone to help him. As luck would have it, Paraka Sentinels use lifestones that can temporarily boost their power. There's one along the ice coast now. If you can destroy it, take the lifestone and bring it to me. I should be able to fix the burn axe leg with it. Okay, so go run this errand. Time to fight some Master Nectin again. Actually, you never have to fight the Master Nectin. I just do anyway. Because I don't want to be weak. See, where am I on this progress? Okay, getting close. The maximum rank you can get, level you can get to is 50. I probably will not get quite to 50 by the end of this. Well, I can wipe out this one first, I guess. With that, I'm done. So I'll just be done. I won't even bother with the Master Neck. Oh, well, so much for that plan. Okay, I had to fight one of them. They give you remarkably low experience points for how difficult they are. That's it, great, hang on a sec. This isn't the easiest procedure. Okay, got it. The burn axe should be okay. Now. He should be able to get you into the damn control room. Proofreading. 1 out of 10. Actually, there's so much text, it's like really hard to proofread. So I can cut it some slack. I don't know how many languages LEGO had to translate this into. Or maybe not LEGO, whoever they paid to make this, which I still haven't looked up. What? Okay. Let's see, what's the AP cost of this? Eight. This one is 7, and this one is, the harpoon is 5, right? Okay, so it doesn't make any sense to put on the shredder for the Hakan fight. Yeah, I'll just kind of go how I am, I guess. Or do we have... Don't have any appropriate water weapons. I've got 8 medium defense armors of earth. I mean, of air. Anyway. I can't believe we went on that wild goose chase into the jungle. Hey, this is Hakon's turf. No Toa allowed. Trying to drain the lava and get the Mask of Life before us? I don't think so. Yo, yo, Paraka! Okay, let's... You are attacked by a Hakan. I don't have enough movement to get anywhere close. Gee. That was really technical, but I did it. Okay. Oh. Well, you know where I'm going to put this one. Hit right at 600 health now. Two more possible rank ups. They're very unlikely to happen.
How strange to think the lake of lava empty. I do know that what we may find. I do not know what we may find in there, Toa. I do. But it is vital that we beat the Paraka to it. Climb to the bottom of the lake and see what you find. Report your findings to Dalu at the fortress and we'll plan what to do next.
Okay, more running around. You know what, at the, this last hour, I'll have some fun with equipping this guy. Not the best equipped, but it's more fun. Okay, I got interrupted while recording, and it's been almost a week. Let's go. Okay, in the meantime, I tried to look up on BSO1 who exactly LEGO contracted out to make this game, and they don't even say, so I don't know who made this game. So you finally found the entrance. What? Locked? It seems you need 3 keys. The old legend does say something about 3 stones with elemental power, but we didn't think of collecting them before finding the entrance. I know where you can find them, but I'm afraid that that delay may grant the Paraka time that we can't afford. Go quickly, Toa. Yes, the Paraka somehow get in without these 3 stones, but they don't break down the door in such a way that I can also get in without finding these 3 stones. Whatever. Let's see, rank 48, and I'm relatively far removed from hitting rank 49. I have to increase my experience on the order of 26. So how many, say, Fire Burn Act that is, that's on the order of 10E3. I don't think I have the patience to go through 10E3 Fire Burn Act to get to the level up. So, looks like we're going into the final at level 48. I'll repeat that there are 50 possible levels, and so there are 50 possible points you can allocate to these 3 categories. I have actually gone into the final at level 50 one time, but usually you don't, because the last 2 level ups just take too much time to be worth doing. Because why not? Still a lot more walking to do. Okay, so probably for watchability, I want the last bits, the final boss fights of this game, to be in their own separate segment. So to save me a little bit of editing, I have to do a lot anyway, I'm going to stop recording here. So this will be the end of this big long segment of doing the Chapter 8 quests. And I'll start up a new segment specifically for the final boss fights. So, stopping recording now.